So, as I say, James Thomas is here. The end of year health check, James. The questions to ask yourself ahead of those New Year's resolutions, or maybe this is actually your New Year's resolution. I'm going to get my financial stuff. I nearly used an expletive there, but I didn't. How to get your financial stuff together. Look, I've been reading a lot about this online overnight, talking to you today, because actually it's kind of a time towards the end of the year where things wind down work-wise, for a lot of people a little bit.
Yes.
And you may have a little bit more time to spend with family to sort of reflect. And if you're looking at family, you're thinking, you know, how they've been doing, what's going on, and buying gifts. You're thinking about the future a little bit more. You're looking forward to next year. You know where I'm going with this. So it's kind of a good time to reflect on where your finances are, I think.
Very much so.
Is that reasonable?
I would suggest it is. And I guess it's all part of that.
It's part of life's rich tapestry.
Yeah, yes.
I know.
But also
where
you're planning as well, because one of the things that I've often discussed, we get carried away with buying gifts and spending money, and then January comes and half the gifts are already broken or in the bin, or not being played with if it's a child's toy. Why on earth did I spend all that money? I've now got an enormous credit card bill to pay. January is, not so much here because storm, whatever that's coming in. As an aside, it's usually the most beautiful time of the year. We've got lovely temperatures, bright blue skies. But if you're in the UK or Europe in general and it's dark, cold, wet, miserable, and you're suddenly trudging to work in the dark, coming home in the dark, and you realise that this month all your hard work is going to settle the bills from
what an attractive picture you're painting at the moment, buddy.
So therefore, where your points absolutely come in is to have that thought process beforehand. Yeah, absolutely. If you are able to wind down for a few days, think about the year, remind yourself of your New Year's resolutions. If you wrote them down, do you journal? Have you thought,
Do you journal? I keep hearing that. Do you journal?
No.
No, I was going to say, I wasn't picturing you journaling.
People say it's meant to be very good. Do I write notes? Yes, because getting older and forgetful. But journaling practice makes it sound more grand than it is. It's just a scrap piece of paper. Sort out finances, and then where that leads to all the conversations that we've been having. But yes, it's. Did I say something in January? Did I have a thought that, yes, I'm going to sort out my finances this year? Now we are in mid-December, fast approaching Christmas.
Well, New Year and the renewal of the New Year, and you're looking ahead. Yes. And naturally, that's what this time is. But that's exactly what I was going to say. It's a good time to sit and think, what was on my resolution list last year? Because we all talk about resolutions. I don't know how many people make them, even fewer keep them, I would guess. But if you're able to do that, that's a great thing. But it's a good time to ask, what was on last year's list? Have you actioned that? When did you last kind of think about what you were going to action? Have you reviewed that situation?
Have you made any inroads into those?
I got to be honest, my resolutions last year, no, not a thing. I haven't done anything. No. But there you are.
And that's, I would imagine, is pretty typical.
Yeah, normal. So it's a good time to do that. So I'm thinking, I found a year-end checklist that I wanted to put to you, and I'll just run through it. Now, this was a US website, okay, but I think there's some points here that reflect and cover. Some of the tax stuff less appropriate for here, so I've left that, but I've still kept some of the headings. Align with your family values, okay. Do your spending habits reflect them? Is it a time to think about that? So, how well your actions in your end-of-year health check reflect on those, what you've been doing and how it's been over the year, and make sure that the actions that you want to take next year are there. So here's an example. If you're thinking about, I want to be more healthy next year, I want to spend more time in nature, for example, I want to go and, start trekking, whatever it is you want to do, are they priorities? Are you ready to invest in that, to promote that side? Thinking that way is the point.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It's thinking about it, and then they'll say, again, this is where it sounds slightly out there. Use, what did I say last week? Woo-woo. Writing it down, journaling.
I like that.
But it's part of that process of turning it from a thought that only you know that's there, putting it on a piece of paper that someone else can read, and then actually you being able to use that to move it forward to actually happening. So if you want to go hiking, there's some beautiful trails up in Northern Emirates that I'm told are stunning and should really explore. But if we turn it back to the finances, so have I reviewed my situation? Am I pulling enough away for my future? Have I got sufficient life cover to protect my family? Once they're written down, I think that is then, you will keep referring, or more likely to refer back to them. Then I would hope that the next stage is to actually start to think about action in them.
But it's also a good place to start,
and it's a great place to start.
If it's a very personal thing, how does this, aligning with family values? I know I get what. Look, when you give me that, you give me when I give you that phrase. But it's that thing of it's very personal to you.
Of course.
And it's your money.
It's your money. It's you. So again, absolutely, it's got to align with you, which is why I say, even though on the outside many situations might look the same, they're not, because they're yours and they're your beliefs. It's your money. It's your future. It's your retirement. So it's always going to be about you.
And that's why it's a good place to start.
Yes.
I've got this plan with a friend of mine to do a motorcycle license this year, next year, right? And we decided in the summer we'd do that. And his point was, it's a life skill. Do I want to be a biker? No, not really. But I like motorcycles. I've never really ridden them, but I have a little bit. So I thought, no, I'm going to do a license. Whether I go out and buy a motorcycle is a completely different thing. Probably not. But, it's just a goal I fancy doing. I think it's a good way to travel.
But you've now manifested it, and again, if that sounds too out there, but
we're journaling, we're manifesting. I tell you, who's going woo-woo here? James Thomas. Yeah,
but it's highlighting the point that once it's been discussed with someone like your friend there, it's far more likely to happen, in my opinion, because the two, come on, we've been talking about this since the summer. 6 months have passed already. We want to do this. Let's go.
Oh, we're doing it in February. I've actually recruited another person to the cause, Faraj, who he's hiding behind his screens here. We'll probably get him on camera at some point. But you're going to do it as well, aren't you? Yeah, he's nodding. See, there you go. Yeah. We're gonna become bikers together. I suspect Faraj just wants a leather jacket with Black Sabbath on the back. But I don't know. It could well be a thing, or maybe Aussie. But that's a good place to start because it's a personal thing, and I think that's a way of kind of reflecting at this sort of time of year. What do I want to do next year? What do I want to spend my money on?
Yes.
And can I spend that money?
Yes. And again, perhaps it becomes the short, medium, long-term goals. And the short-term goal might be that we want to go somewhere on holiday. Okay, that's a family goal. We want to go wherever it may be.
Sure. Yeah.
But then the longer-term goals is actually we want to be able to still continue to do this into our retirement. Therefore, we need to start planning.
Exactly. And that's the starting point. The second one on this list was a little bit more serious and a little bit more kind of up your street, if you like. But this is define your financial mission statement. Now, it might not be that it's changed very much from the previous year. But, redefining is often as good as defining.
Or it hasn't even been defined.
That's another side of this. But you need to be able to ask yourself and be honest with yourself again. We keep coming back to this kind of honesty thing. What is money's purpose in your life? What's it for? What do you want to do?
Why are you working?
Why are you exactly?
What is it for?
Yeah.
What are your goals? What are your that goes? But the previous point though, you mentioned holidays. Well, that's very. It's not a particularly financially orientated goal, but it is because it's
family experiences.
It's family experiences and then personal experiences. Once children have departed, how do you want your retirement to look? Do you just want to be sitting in doors, not able to afford to go anywhere, or do you want to be?
No, I'm a mercenary. I brought my kids up. They pay for me. That's what I'm going to sit on a porch and throw things at passing children. I've told you that many times.
You have?
Yeah, but I won't be doing that.
But I don't know that Donna and Roddy are on board with it.
No, I guess they're not. It'll just be that's old man Elliott. Just ignore him.
Yeah.
But we laugh. But actually, these are very serious.
It is a serious point, and that's again what I hope comes across with these conversations, it is a very serious topic, but it's got to have some lightness to it, because otherwise you just avoid it.
Yeah, quite right. Okay, so number 3 on the list is assess your net worth. If you're thinking about this at the end of the year and it's a good idea to do it, this is the third point. So net worth equals assets, so savings, your house, your property, and investments, and
All
take
the above
away the
minus
liabilities.
any liabilities that you
Take
have.
off the debt.
So and again, nice little exercise to do. Doesn't need to be to the nearest pound, dirham, dollar, but it's just to get a ballpark of where you are. Because if you've sat down with your advisor and you've now got what we say your number is, what are you needing to have to allow you to retire, then have you got closer to it? And if not, why not? Maybe it's because you have been on that holiday of a lifetime. You've taken the family to, I don't know, Disneyland or to the Northern Lights or Lapland or whatever it may be. Well, that was great, because we've got a great life experience from that we're all going to remember for the rest of our lives. And if it meant that it's reduced the net worth by a few thousand, then so be it.
Yeah.
But again, it's not that you're. Again, that's another point I always like to emphasise. We're not here to beat you up because it hasn't gone up, because that's life. But what we are here to do is help you get to those goals. So, okay, well, that happened last year or this year. What are we going to change next year to make sure that number does improve and increase?
Which is the whole point of reflecting. There's a couple more things I wanted to bring up, and let's use 5, the fourth one on this list. We're coming to the end of our hour, but a good time, and I think this is a really good practical thing to do. We've talked about so far, aligning with family values. What do you want to do? The personal side of it. Your financial mission statement. If you don't have one, the definition of that is important. And then assessing net worth, so you know exactly where you are, in theory, on paper, but drilling down into your actual net worth, i.e. reviewing your income, reviewing your expenses, and looking at that and asking yourself, there's 3 simple questions here, and I'll see how you nod when I ask these questions. Did your spending align with your budget?
Okay.
Question 1.
Yep.
Were there unexpected expenses? Life happens, as we've been talking. And are there any changes to account for in the new year, in the coming months next year? So it's just that position. So you're reflecting, but with a little bit more depth on where you are.
I mean, it's the next stage on from the previous question,
Exactly.
really.
Yeah.
But again, writing it down, typing it into a spreadsheet, again, always a little bit cautious of that, because you can get carried away and then suddenly the spreadsheet has got every single number and the spreadsheet's ruling you rather than the other way around.
That's a good point, actually. So being overly careful with everything, there's a point where you can... I have come across
that when people literally have got every last line item on an Excel spreadsheet, and that's ruling their lives. And to me, that's the wrong way round.
No, that makes excellent sense. I'm quite surprised, but life is for living, and your money is the facilitator for that.
Yes.
But it can take over, so that you're not living.
No, you're not living. You're being ruled by a number on a spreadsheet, as opposed to the spreadsheet just telling you where you're at.
Okay.
You say, much like I always say, I'm not here to tell you not to do things, but equally, it needs to be managed and balanced with planning for that future that you want to have.
Okay.
But yes, all the above, absolutely. Making a run through of it actually goes back to the previous conversations where we're in income versus expenditure. When often initially starting conversations with prospects, I've got lots of money left at the end of the month. Okay, where is it? And sometimes you get a blank look.
No, not where is it? No, is it?
Or is it? Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of the end of the month thing.
And it's just, again, being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Having that, again, you don't need to have it with me or another advisor, but it's just to stop burying your head under the pillow, in the sand. Because that's really the most powerful part of this process, is taking ownership and moving forward.
couple of things I just want to throw in at the end because, and I know these we don't have time to go into them in depth, but it's important to think. I figure reevaluating debt management. If you do have some debt,
look at the debt. Most expensive debt, credit card, short-term debt. Can you reduce it? How best to reduce it? Mortgages, less so because they're typically more long-term. But if they have come to the end of their initial term, is it worthwhile remortgaging? Interest rates are generally coming down around the world, so there could be opportunities to refinance and save some funds there.
Okay, and then savings. So first of all, make sure that your, that emergency fund that you recommend, whether it's 3, 6, however many months you think you need, and look at the way your savings for retirement are going, the contributional kind of aspects of your savings are going. But there was one line, and I think you'll like this, and I quite like this, and it kind of rounds off the article really. I didn't write this. I wish I did, but it's a good one. The important piece is to make sure every dirham has a job to do.
Lovely.
That's quite good, that,
isn't it? It is.
I like that.
But again, that ties in everything that we've discussed.
I think so.
Make sure that you're working hard for every dirham you earn. So make sure it works hard for you. Be it for just not disappearing. So at the end of the month, you look back, where on earth did that all go? If you can look back and say, I've had an amazing holiday, I've bought this, I've bought the other, not just frivolous items, but I've had a fantastic Christmas. We've done some amazing things as a family, whatever it may be, but just we've gone for that hike. We've bought some hiking shoes and we've gone up to Ras Al Khaimah and we've walked up Jebel Jais, whatever it might be.
I'll see you at the top of Jebel Jais in your dreams.
You'll drive up. There's a nice coffee shop at the top.
Well, there's a hotel at the top. I'll be there waiting for you.
But whatever it might be, making sure that money's working for you as opposed to against you.
Okay, appreciate it. James Thomas, independent financial consultant, financial advisor. Appreciate you being honest and open today. I always do, actually, to be fair. But good to see you. And festive greetings.
Same to you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. Leave us a like, hit subscribe wherever you join us from. Get in touch. Let us know what you think. You can contact us, info@mira.fm over WhatsApp, whatsapp.mira.fm. And remember, the podcasts are everywhere. Everything we do is podcast to watch or listen to again. This is Mira Business FM.